Time now for Focus, and today we're asking if Greenpeace India could be about to shut its doors. It's in financial trouble and it's the government's fault. Its accounts have been frozen, with the authorities accusing Greenpeace India of legal violations. And it's not the only NGO in India that's feeling vulnerable right now. So is this really because of accounting errors, or is the government trying to silence critics? Our team in India went to investigate.
The government has cancelled the license of nearly 9,000 NGOs.
Cancelled for violating Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Now
It's been a tough few months for NGOs in India. Accused of violating laws that regulate funding from overseas, over 9,000 organizations that work in areas like tribal education and women's empowerment have had their licenses cancelled. Amongst them, environmental NGOs have been especially targeted, particularly the iconic Greenpeace.
In order to continue our work, we need minimum subsistence. And ultimately, if the government is shutting down that oxygen supply, we are going to die. This is a political fight. This form of, witch hunt, this form of totally shutting us down, it's unfortunate, it's happened in India, which is supposed to be the largest and the most vibrant democracy of the world.
Greenpeace had become a thorn in the Indian government's side, questioning from the front lines the Modi government's development policy of growth at any cost. Just recently, the NGO had emerged victorious in its battle to protect the lush forests of Mahan against rampant mining.
This is the fruit of the mawa tree. We eat it, we make oil from it, and we use its leaves too. This plant also has medicinal properties. 95% of the villagers here depend on the forest for their livelihood. If the forest dies, we will die with it. We have no other means to make a living.
A few months ago, villagers here were approached by SR, one of India's largest oil companies. They offered the villagers a significant financial compensation for their land. At this point, Greenpeace stepped in to help the villagers take on the petro giant.
In 2009, the SR conglomerate had made the very same proposal to one of our neighboring villages. The company took their land, but the villagers never saw the compensation money they had been promised. Same goes for the jobs they had promised. The water infrastructure, the electricity, nothing. Greenpeace were the ones who explained our rights to us. We had no idea we had any rights. They showed us how to fight legally against the government.
The Indian government's attempt to muzzle foreign NGOs dates back to June 2014. That month, in a leaked top-secret memo, intelligence agencies accused environmental NGOs of threatening India's national and economic security. Thermal and nuclear power plants, GMOs, uranium and coal mines, they were all at risk, the memo warned, and added that unregulated environmental activism could cost the country between 2 to 3% economic growth per year. Some senior politicians have gone so far as to accuse NGOs of channeling foreign funds to halt India's economic development.
All the money spent by these foreign NGOs is being used against the interests of our local governments. This money is being used to destroy the harmony of our country. And abroad, the money is being used to tarnish the image of India.
Amnesty International, the Ford Foundation, Survival and Greenpeace are just some of the famous organizations that are waiting for the judiciary to unfreeze their international bank accounts. As their private funds dry out, some of them could be compelled to close their offices in the country.
Now, for more on this, I'm joined by Samit Aich, the Executive Director of Greenpeace India. Hello, thank you very much indeed for your time. You're joining us from the Netherlands for a Greenpeace meeting, just so our viewers know. First of all, what is the latest on your financial situation?
Well, as you must, or your viewers should be aware that our bank accounts were frozen, not just our international accounts, but also our Indian accounts. And only last week, through a court intervention and the Delhi High Court, we got a favorable interim order, which allows us to access our Indian accounts, where our Indian financial supporters can give us money. So until 29th of May, it was a situation where we were on the verge of a shutdown, simply because our 80,000 plus financial supporters here in India, Indian financial supporters could not give money. But right now, through this court order, we have managed to get our accounts started, and we hope to continue to survive and continue to campaign for what we campaign for.
Now, Greenpeace India was set up about 15 years ago. What difference have you made in that time?
Well, in the last 15 years, we have made several interventions and we have several campaign victories, whether it's about shipbuilding, where we ensured that because of our campaigns on toxic waste, on shipping, defragmentation, we have a law which was because of which Greenpeace campaigned for. We have a e-waste law in India today, thanks to, again, Greenpeace. We have a nuclear liability bill, which is an act now in the parliament, for which we are one of those very few countries in the world which has a civilian nuclear program where suppliers are also held liable for a nuclear accident if that happens. And that was also because of largely of a Greenpeace intervention. So we've got a range of campaigns we have run over several years on genetic modified organisms, on coal mining, which is detrimental. And just for the current context, we managed to save the Mahan forest, which has been our iconic coal campaign, and this government actually agreed with our campaign in a ironic way, where the coal mine was not allocated because it was considered inviolate forest. So across a range of campaigns we have run, it's been very significant.
Have any of your campaigns been anti-development, like the Ministry of Home Affairs claims?
Well, we campaign for what we stand for. We campaign for a sustainable planet, a sustainable country. And I think it's an intellectual debate one needs to have or trigger in India, where what does development mean? Is it development for few corporations or few people, or is it developmental which is for larger population, where in a country where almost 65 to 67% people still stay in the villages? About 300 million people do not have access to sustainable electricity. And that is what we campaign for. We campaign for sustainability. We campaign for social and economic and environmental justice. And that is the definition of development. Unfortunately, the current paradigm of development is being thrust down, and we have an alternative view towards that.
So is that why you're being targeted then? It's not really about accounting, it's because you're going against some of what the government wants to do?
Well, I guess so. Of course, this was triggered last year, almost a year back, 12 months back, when an infamous or malicious IB report, Intelligence Bureau report, was circulated, which targeted NGOs and Greenpeace in particular. These technical violations are just an example of why they are trying to distract Greenpeace and the rest of the world on matters which are actually quite wrong and false, and the matter is currently sub judice. We have a High Court writ petition which will be contested and is being contested, so I would not like to comment about it. But these technicalities are just used as an example to cut down and to slow down Greenpeace in India. It is about largely the fact that we are asking right questions. We are asking right questions at the right level on matters of extreme environmental and social significance. And these technicalities are just being used to cull us down. Having said that, we have given a point-by-point response to the ministry's show cause notice, and we will await the court orders later on to see whether the technicalities are right or wrong. Only time will say that.
And have you joined forces at all with other NGOs?
Well, like you know that a whole lot of legitimate civil society has been attacked in the most malicious manner. I'm told that about 9,000 NGOs have been, registrations have been cancelled. I cannot talk for all of them. All I can tell you is that legitimate civil society partners and organizations which are legitimate like Greenpeace are severely under attack, and all of these NGOs are feeling quite threatened, which is against the decorum of this country, where constitutionally we have the right to have a different point of view. I could only talk about Greenpeace, and certainly we are quite under threat, and we need to continue to campaign for the larger environmental cause.
but you were saying your situation has improved since your campaign manager told France 24, as we heard in the report, we are going to die. Hasn't Greenpeace office had to shut down before?
Not in India. This is the first time. In fact, in my opinion, this is an unprecedented situation in the 44 years of Greenpeace global history, where such a situation has come to a pass where an office is on the verge of being shut down. Thankfully, because of the last week Delhi High Court intervention, we have managed to get a reprieve. But like I keep on saying, this is a temporary reprieve. We will have to wait for the final orders when the writ petition is either disposed of, hopefully in our favor. But these are situations which have been there for the last 12 months, and this is really concerning for an organization like Greenpeace in India.
OK, thank you very much indeed for your time. Samit Aich joining us, the Executive Director of Greenpeace India. Thank you.